Drunken Pirate Gaming Nights, where pirates who game and drink all night. Drunken Pirate Gaming Nights.
Welcome to Joust. Pick up the eggs before they hatch. I know to survive, you have to hit higher than the guy in front of you. Hello, Drunken Pirates, and welcome back to some one-offs that Admiral Ash is doing on his vacation time. Okay, so this is Joust. For those that have been following us even from our old channel, this was one of the first games we played back when it was straight up called Drunken Pirate Gaming Nights, before we got to cartridges and cocktails and all the other stuff. We had DeMarcus with us, aka Nero Eratum, and Mr. Rogers and myself. Now, they weren't huge fans of this game, but this game I love this game from my childhood. I played in the arcade just a shit ton, and when I could get it on the NES, oh yeah, it was probably one of the first games I bought myself with my allowance, and just a great game all around. I love me some Joust. Again, this is Joust for the NES, so we're going to... actually, I'm going to turn on the turbo button. There we go. Yeah, now I'm flying. Oh, shit. Okay. So, out of practice a little bit. There we go. All right. Need to nail that fucker. There we go. For those that have been following us, like I said, this is a game from our old channel where we played, and... if you ever hear us scream the term, "Give me that ass," this is the game we got it from. Because DeMarcus, if I remember right, yelled it. And that was our... it kind of became a term that we use quite a bit here on Drunken Pirate Gaming Nights. Just because it was freaking hilarious. Uh-oh. Okay, gotta hit higher than the guys next to me. So if I can... land. I got this. Boom. Yeah. Get those eggs. Get the eggs before they hatch. Yeah. Oh my god, he flies so fast. Maybe I'll cut the turbo out just a little bit. As those have been paying attention, this is the oh shit. Well, that didn't last long. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I got I'm playing on my actual original NES controller. I got this thing. I picked this controller up in just this little game store at the mall. And if I remember right, I think it was called Software Etc. If I remember right, that was back in the day. But I was obsessed with controllers when I was a kid. I think for the NES alone, I think I had probably 15 different controllers, each one with its own functions. This was the one I ended up having the longest. It's the one that survived my childhood. There was one game in particular that really just destroyed my controllers, and that was Battletoads. This is me playing, by the way, playing rather horribly, I might add. But Battletoads, I destroyed a lot of controllers. Oh shit, well that was a horrible round. Just because of how frustrating that game was. Another one that I went through a lot of controllers on was Street Fighter 2010, which was supposed to be like the NES's version of Street Fighter, and it was... a lot of people say it was a horrible game. I have rather fond memories of it, but I think that was just because I didn't have a lot of games as a kid. So the games I did have, it didn't matter whether they were really horrible or bad, or horrible or bad, horrible or good. I loved all my games about the same. The exception being two games in particular, which just for sheer collection value, I think I will pick them up someday. I have seen both of them in stores. We have a really, really good retro game store down the street from where I work. And I've seen it there. The first one is Mad Max for NES. That game, just horrible. I love Mad Max. I'm a huge Mad Max fan. All of them, including Thunderdome, Road Warrior, even the original, which is just such a different feel from the rest of the movies. The new one, the freaking Fury Road. Oh my God, that movie was amazing. Probably one of the single best movies I've ever seen in terms of action, just because there's so much going on in it. And I really enjoy it. But anyways, back to the point. The NES game was just horrible. The instruction manual didn't give you instructions. It just said, you're in the world and go drive your car around and pick shit up. And so that's what I did. And honest to God, I think I got past the first level in it one time in all the times I played it. And I gave it a legitimate shot. Again, I didn't have a lot of games, so I played the games that I did have a lot. And I would have friends come over and we'd try and play it. We'd try and figure it out. Oh, hey, I can run fast too. All right. And it was just impossible. And you weren't given enough lives. You weren't given any information on where to go. Even Nintendo Power had a map on it. And I remember even the map in Nintendo Power was wrong. It didn't have the right information on it. There was like a misprint on it or something, if I remember right. And I only ever got past the first level one time. And what it was, you drive around in your car, Mad Max's car, and you basically try and collect stuff. You have to collect. Oh, I just fried. You collect stuff so you can enter the arena of the level, and it turns into like a giant demolition derby, and you have to blow things up. And I just remember. I could never get past the demolition derby part, and the one time I did get past it, I got past it by a fluke, by one of the cars the car that I was about ready to die in. The car just went off the edge of the map, and I don't know if it was a glitch or if it was supposed to happen that way, but I ended up getting the second level, and then I immediately died in the second level, and yeah, so and I just kind of gave up on the game after that. And then one day, I wasn't allowed. My parents were split up, and so I wasn't allowed to bring my Nintendo home. So my Nintendo was at my dad's house. So I only got to play my NES once every 2 weeks. Now that changed once I got into high school, but that's the way it was for, first, half the life of my NES growing up. And then the other game that was horrible was, it was like Dash Galaxy and the Alien Asylum. And the cover of the game was really cool. And it had this dude that looked like Flash Gordon running from a bunch of aliens. And I remember I think the game itself was like $40. I saved up my allowance. I got a $5 a week allowance. And I saved up and I couldn't figure out which game to buy. And so I saw that and I was like, this looks really cool. I'm going to give it a shot. Oh shit. Wow. I'm just flying right into the lava. And so I bought it, and the game was just god awful. It was basically, the graphics weren't. You can't even call them graphics. The guy didn't even look like a person. He was literally a stick figure on the screen, and it was just horrible. It went from a top-down thing, like a top-down puzzle, almost like Lolo, for those that remember, and then it went to a side scroller where you had to be stationary to jump. You couldn't run and jump. And just a horrible side scroll all around. On my Retro Game Treasure, even though I don't have the game, I've marked it as having it just simply because it is that bad of a game. And again, maybe one of these days I'll pick it up. Hold on, I'm going to take a drink because that memory gave me having flashbacks to the horribleness of that game. Okay, well, I think that's enough of Joust. I've rambled on enough. On to the next game. Not sure what I'm going to play next. Maybe I'll continue my horrible game experiences as a kid in the next one off. So, Drunken Pirates, stay drunk.